Louisiana Beer Reviews 4, Natural Ice. In 1977, Anheuser-Busch came out with a new product called Natural Light. This was done in response to tremendous success that Miller was having with their light product, which was rolled out nationally in 1975. Today, Natural Light is considered a cheap beer. That was not the case when it first came out. It was one of the flagship beers of the company. But when Budweiser Light, now called Bud Light, debuted in 1982, the company slowly started to give more attention to that product, and then Natural Light was relegated to the sub-premium position. However, it is still very popular. It's one of the top selling beers in the country, by the way. In 1995, due to the ice beer craze, which was set off by the 1993 introduction of Ice House, Anheuser-Busch rolled out a bunch of ice beers. Busch Ice, which is very rare, Bud Ice, which you see everywhere, and to add to the Natural line, which was only one beer, we have Natural Ice, which also came out in 1995. It's been a tremendous success. It's always been positioned at the sub-premium level. It's a very popular college beer. It's considered a cheap beer, but it is not produced in a cheap way, really. It's brewed according to Anheuser-Busch's very strict brewing standards, so it's very consistent, and many people are fans of it. Here's a 1996 Natural Ice bottle. You can see the Olympics logo embossed on it. This was the first ever logo. About 1998, they updated it. It's got the Anheuser-Busch eagle and a little more, a little lighter, brighter logo. About 2007, 2006, can't remember, they overhauled their look again, and they came out with the new logo. Still has the embossed Anheuser-Busch eagle on it. One thing about the Natural line, you'll always notice this horse collar design, which was on the original 1977 bottle. I don't know what the reason for that is, but it's unusual looking. You see that. Also, you see the boomerangs, and I don't know the reason for that, but you see the horse collar and the boomerangs. Another thing, it says lager, 5.9% alcohol. Over here it says ale. I'll get to that in a moment. Ice brewed for a naturally smooth taste. That's always been their tagline. You will not see this sold as beer. You'll see it sold as lager or ale, and that's to comply with some states, particularly Texas's, strict regulations that no product called beer can have a high alcohol content. So even though it's called ale, which we all know is a type of beer, it can't be sold as beer. So that kind of tells you the line of thinking of the officials in Texas. Apparently they don't know much about beer. Now we'll go with the review. This is a 16-ounce can of Natural Ice. You can see the can design is very similar to the modern bottle design. Also, it says ale. I'm going to crack it open here. Tends to be very bubbly, and it will overflow. You see the stereotypical American style lager, very thick head, very bubbly. Some people describe that as soapy, like soap bubbles. The extremely clear appearance, heavily carbonated appearance. You see the little bubbles trailing upward. It has a clear straw, more of a yellowish straw, a little relatively darker than other American style beers, but it's not what you would call dark by any means. The aroma is very faint. You can pick up your typical beer smell of faint water smell, actually. Some grains, which I suppose is corn and barley, but the aroma is very minimal. Now we are going to go with the taste. You can taste the grain. You can taste barley. There is a very, very small hop spice to it, and it's very small. There is quite a bit of sweetness to it, although it's not overwhelming or overbearing or unpleasant. The alcoholic-y taste is not strong. This is probably one of the least alcoholic tasting light beers, ice beers, excuse me. It's a light ice beer in a way. It's very carbonated. It has that prickly carbonation. It has a nice bite to it. I've always found that. The mouthfeel is light and watery. It finishes very crisp and satisfying. I'm going to give it another gulp. Let's say Le Bon Temps Roulé. This is a good beer. Quite a nice bit of lacing down the glass, which is a good sign usually. Splotchy lacing, but it's nice. It does retain the head fairly well. I gave it an A rating on Beer Advocate. I gave it an excellent rating on the Beer and Me. I gave it a high rating on Rate Beer. A lot of people do not like it. It is rather controversial, though. You'll see some people give it F. They hate it, say it's terrible. Other people give it A's and B's, and they say it's very pleasant to drink with a meal. That's my opinion. It's good to have. I like to buy it when I just want a beer to drink. It doesn't have any foul aftertaste. I think it is unfairly maligned. I recommend it. If you have not given natural ice a try, I would recommend that you give it a try. I think you'll be satisfied with it, especially if you appreciate the American style lager style. If you're only into craft beer, you're not going to appreciate the subtle taste notes that it has. Otherwise, if you're just a regular beer drinker, I think you'll quite enjoy it. This is the end of the review, and I want to say, y'all come on down to New Orleans.